Boom. We are recording. This is Conscious Growth Podcast, episode 23, where we're talking about everything growing conscious brands. And we have a few interesting topics today, starting off with our changing the podcast name. And then we're going to go into some e-commerce businesses lying about their revenue and some other interesting topics. So, Austin, what do you want to start with?
Start with fucking Lens AI.
Oh my gosh, yeah. This week, Lens AI blew up on Instagram. Yeah.
I hate Lens AI so much. Like I'm boycotting Instagram for at least 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Until everybody gets it out of their system.
There's a lot of that. Everyone's posting their AI photos.
It's like people who never post are posting because they're like, look at computers think I look cool. It's a very interesting, narcissistic, egotistical type of thing. But also, one, they're not photos of you. Sorry, that's the truth. Seriously. And two, it's just using Stable Diffusion. It's just using one of the regular AI tools, except now they gated it with a $4 fee. So they're making money on it.
Yeah.
They're making money on you using a free AI release tool.
Yeah, but you get to make your own avatars, Austin. You don't want your avatar?
No, I don't.
I had friends asking me, they're like, are you going to try this? Did you try it? I was like, no, I haven't.
I think it's super interesting because it's like human nature is look at me, especially Instagram, right? That's the whole platform. The whole point of the platform is to try to look cool. Mm-hmm. So it's now you have this thing that's making you look cool, the coolest you could ever look, because it's literally AI trying to figure out what type of person you are and be like, look, you're wearing a bulletproof vest and there's explosions in the background.
Totally. 100%.
Or you're a goddess floating in the middle of space. And it's like this thing is playing you guys. You know that, right?
Yeah, the computer's probably just oh, dude, let's just play on these narcissistic tendencies, bro. That's literally what the AI is saying while it's creating these images.
For sure. I mean, could you use it for ads or something like that? It'd be super interesting to see how people respond to it. But I mean, immediately I was like, I hate this. I was like, I'm not going to be on Instagram for weeks until everyone purges this out of their system. They're like little dopamine-infested children running around look at me this way. Look at me from a side profile. Look at me upside down.
In space, on an exploding school bus. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think it's going to work good for ads, though? These types of images? I feel like they have to.
I don't know if it has to. I mean, think about the best ads that we run. It's normally not chaotic. It's normally directly to the point. And it's normally a very simple image or video, CTA, with a CTA. Mm-hmm. You could take the approach of old school marketing, in the first 5 seconds, it better be the craziest thing you've ever seen. But especially for what we do, CPG eComm, how often do we see some crazy ad that is abstract, crushing it? Or a photo surreal ad. And I'm not just talking about us. I'm talking about with every company I'm saving in Foreplay, everything. Seems like at this point in time, and I could see this forever for physical products, not forever, but for the most part. Mm-hmm. Don't you want the physical product you're buying to be with someone physical in reality? That you're oh, this is what that product seems like in real life.
Yeah, totally. The actual product with an actual human. That's kind of of course, the basics. Yeah, for sure. Compared to some just CGI rendered, product in space. Product floating in space with another person floating in space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I got you.
We're in a niche. We got a niche. I mean, I could totally see an ebook having Rich Dad, Poor Dad, sitting on piles of cash in a crazy mansion or something like that. AI generated, and people are whoa, I want to be like that guy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I get it, because CPG is not; these aren't abstract ideas. It's they're all physical products, and you're just going to your local store, maybe getting them on Instacart. But other than that, real world stuff.
I think that's the AI image stuff. Maybe so. Facebook with their AI video may be interesting. Mm-hmm. They're 5-second AI video clips that are going to come out soon, because those look pretty photoreal. They look interesting. I mean, I don't know what it's going to be if you take it specific product. You're Photoshop in the so right.
Yeah,
a polar bear using the so right with a guy juggling in the background. I don't know what it's going to do with that. Maybe it will do it incredible and it will highlight the so right or whatever. But we'll see with the image stuff. With the copy, I think it's very good for talking about Jasper now, not any of the other tools. I mean,
I was going to say, this is a great intro to the AI topic because we need to go over this, like how the tools stack up compared to like the platforms. That's the big question is like, what tool are any of the AI tools that are out as good as AI that you're working with on the platforms? What do you think of the tools that are out?
For sure. So yeah, Jasper is great. I really like Jasper. I think it's cool for simple and basic copy, emails, blog posts. The image tool isn't great. I wouldn't use that for most anything. Mm-hmm. But overall, like, it's a great way to access GPT-3 for like the general consumer, and to do so with like easy queries in a front end portal that makes it simple for you to use it. Mm-hmm. I think it'll be good for non-creative copywriting, especially because like this is my like gripe with all this AI right now, is like you're putting in the prompt.
Totally.
So if you put in the prompt incorrectly or don't know what you're doing, like you're not going to get anything good. Also,
100%.
Most people still, and probably for the next 3 to 5 years, will not understand how to put in a prompt correctly.
No, it's totally a skill. Totally a skill.
I mean, think about number one, how many people know code, or how many people understand Boolean logic, or how many people understand like basic, like, or even Google, how to search effectively on Google.
Yeah.
Like most people don't understand there's shortcuts and commands that can get you to like the actual thing that you're trying to search on Google. Mm-hmm. Now take them and like have them use AI correctly when they're used to writing like a 20-word description for a TikTok video. Yeah, it's going to take a long time for that to work effectively.
Yeah.
And like people are all showing their chat GPT beta boxes and what it's coming up with. I mean, to me, it all looks very simple. It doesn't look like I played around with it. I didn't get one thing that I was like, if I share this, someone's going to think this is a unique stream of thought. We have to remember, where does this AI pull its information? That's like the first and foremost thing. I don't know specifically, but what I would assume is it has search indexes as its backlog.
Yeah. They said Jasper AI has basically indexed 10% of the internet. So it's a lot of just content that's out there.
Okay. So this was my gripe, and still is, with Elon's brain, what's it called? The Neuralink.
Human computer interface.
Yeah, the Neuralink. So if Neuralink is pulling from index search, if AI is pulling from index search, how do you know it's right? Mm-hmm. 1. 2, just because it gets there faster doesn't mean it's better. Mm-hmm. And so I think this is like, especially with Neuralink, I'm always like, oh yeah, I'd love to search Google quicker and like immediately have my mind taken over by some fake listing. Mm-hmm. Like imagine the SEO in like Google for Neuralink, just like literal brainwashing of humans.
Yeah.
I mean, it's similar with Jasper because, or not Jasper, but just AI, Chat, or GPT-3, all these as a whole. Mm-hmm. How many people look deeper than surface level already at Google searches or information they're looking for? Now, oh, cool, AI knows. AI is way smarter than me. I trust AI. Cool. Now you're just querying AI for literally like the most basic undeveloped thought processes around Google search.
I know. Can you imagine if like what was going on in your brain was literally the Google search results? Like, man, I feel like your life would be terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Be terrible.
And, I mean, it's never a complex thought that actually integrates into your life. It's always a quick snippet of like, oh, this is this. And you're like, cool, how did you get to that? It's like, I have no idea. I didn't read the footnotes at the bottom. It's like, cool. If Neuralink forces you to read all the footnotes and resources, I mean, I guess that'll change things, but there's no way it does.
Yeah. No, totally. I feel like there's a long way to go on this. And like, I think I showed you before this call, somebody was dropping a post talking about all these different AI tools and how they're going to change the agency game. But man, right now, the biggest one I see is Jasper AI. Yeah. And that one, I really feel like I immediately was like, this is going to totally change email marketing, where you need like a good amount of content that's decent to start with and then gets edited down to be a little more customer specific. And it's going to be great for things like that right now. But yeah, the other tools, I have no doubt they'll be amazing and totally change any service business. But right now, the only one I immediately see that's definitely changing it is like, I could see Jasper AI totally changing the email marketing game, or just anyone that needs to draft large amounts of content to then be edited down. Man, you can do that quickly with that tool, like right now.
Yeah, and I think one of the funny things is, I mean, we've been fending off fake AI optimization platforms for paid media for years now.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's almost always garbage, and it
Yeah.
probably will be unless the specific medium is releasing some variation of the AI tool.
Totally.
And here's why. You've been using the AI the whole time that you've been on these platforms. Anyways, because
you're talking about like Meta and Google ads,
Meta
ads.
Google, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, whatever you're running ads on. I mean, I guess Twitter probably was shit, but now it's getting better. Ultimately, like the whole idea is when you recognize something, it changes immediately how that thing reacts. So if you were like, oh, cool, nothing's recognizing this thing, it's operating XYZ, cool, now I recognize it, now it changes how it's going to react and work, simply because of the observation effect, which could be light, could be air, whatever. I'm not getting into the physics around all that stuff. My whole idea is, cool, now you take an AI that's supposedly like this AI ad optimizing platform, and you plug it into the algorithmic mecca that is Meta, and you think that AI and the algorithm are not going to start to adjust because they're each other's recognizing each other. Like, I understand the idea that this is going to get better over time, but this is going to be constantly changing, and it's a black box, and this AI has no idea about what's going on in Meta or Google or whatever. Has ideas. And like forever ago, you know, there's been companies that do things like when it's raining in a specific area, they turn on ads like insect pest control ads or raincoat ads or whatever. That stuff, yes, that's great use of AI. That's great use of an algorithmic process that you don't have to actively manage. Like, oh shit, it's raining in these 60 different counties. I got to like turn on ads. The other side of that is like, if you feed your AI, your algorithm, your AI, your whatever, 1,000 pieces of copy and 1,000 images, and you believe that it's going to determine better than Meta what is working on Meta, you're so incorrect.
Yeah.
Like Meta knows what works on Meta. That's why the simplest account structures typically work the best for scale on Meta versus like all these Facebook media buyer superstitions that have built over the years. Same with Google, same with all of them. Like,
there's so many. It's wild, man. It's wild. There's so many. So yeah, man. I mean, I'm like super bullish on AI long term, and I'm super bullish on it right now for innovating in the professional services space, like its ability to change agency business models 100%. Like we're incorporating anything we can, training people up on it. Yeah, I know you and I just went through the Jasper AI boot camp last weekend. I'm going to continue to do that to learn how to work with these prompts, to prompt these machines to help us out, play nice with them. But yeah, as far as like them, any of the ones that claim to be outperforming any of these multi-billion, now I guess in the $1 trillion, some of these tech companies, like it's very suspect that they would have better AI platforms than these companies. I think so. Anything running on GPT-3 now is like, yes, that's innovative, but all these other AI products that are basically just machine learning engines marketed as AI, and like that's a totally different thing.
The AI that I think would really help, especially, you know, marketers and eComm owners, is like an AI version of your laundry system. Or like dish cleaning. Yeah, that'd probably save more time for most people.
Yeah, very true, man. Just something to like get your day a little bit more organized would probably be a bigger improvement on your agency efficiency than fake AI platforms. 100%.
What is the purpose of AI? This is what like I think people get away from a ton. The purpose of AI is to take over tasks that humans shouldn't be doing because their time, effort, and energy is more valuable than the thing that is being done. And of course, there's like an arbitrage game and people are trying to create sentient AI and yada, yada, whatever. I'm going back to like Buckminster Fuller's idea, 70s, 80s, 90s, which was the most valuable thing a human can do is think. Every human in the world has unique generative ideas. And so like, if we can get AI to automate things that give us back time, simple tasks, that makes a lot of sense. If AI is causing more complexity in our lives, or it's masquerading as something that ends up taking up more time, then it's not doing the whole purpose of what we're trying to develop it to do. So,
no, I love that. I think giving you back time, to continue on your Buckminster Fuller spiel is like to give people back time and not be something that appears to give people time back, but is actually complexity masquerading as a time saver. I think that's a good litmus test because, there's a lot of people that would argue that, oh, AI is going to be able to think better than people. And like whether or not it does, it'll still be a good use of AI if it's giving you back your time versus adding complexity.
Exactly.
Whether or not it can think better than people, who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know enough about AI to make that call. I don't know.
You could think linearly about thoughts or process, like linear streams of information. I want to see them develop AI that's also like feeling and noticing like sensations in their elbow and like the pain that they have in like the right side of their back and like all of that coming through in the system at the same time. It'll be very interesting because like the actual human model of, that's creating humans, some Westworld shit. Could make some Bernard the AI that codes AI, who thinks he's sentient, but is really just AI who can't see his own AI.
We got to do it. We'll do a whole podcast. That'll be a great, great conscious growth podcast on what is consciousness. The whole episode. Okay, let's back to the D2C related topics. Okay, the other one we have to do really quickly, like why we're switching to conscious growth. I think the biggest thing was performance media is just limiting. We're dealing with other stuff besides just the media at this point, and then all the companies we're working with are companies that are trying to increase human energy and increase personal freedom. So energy is just a lot of the health food products and brands working with a lot of companies that want to take toxins out of our food supply in one way or another, and that really helps to increase energy for people consuming these products. The other one is just give people more choice in their lives, and again, this is just like having freedom in a number of ways. This is across the product spectrum. Us working with CPG products as well as some physical product companies that are working on stuff related to that. So that's just my quick plug for the name. Is there anything you want to go over with that, Austin? Conscious growth.
Nah, you're either for humans or against them. So pick a side.
Perfect. That's great. That's perfect. Put a bow on it. Okay. The other one was eComm businesses are failing left and right. What is it? It's December 2022. We know there's a lot of eComm businesses out there failing, and they're not appearing to fail, but they are. What do you want to talk about with this, Austin?
I think this is your post yesterday kind of got into it too. I think it's pretty hilarious that what we're about to see happen more and more is all these like incredible marketers and business owners that masquerade on Instagram and Twitter and LinkedIn about their crazy case studies and businesses that are multi-eight figure are lying. And they've been playing a game of raising money to raise money to raise money to raise money. And it's not working anymore. I'm kind of excited. I think the calling of the herd is always a good thing. I think it's a great time for people who have money to get ready to like scoop some of these companies that they see promise in or really like that are trying to sell for pennies on the dollar. It sucks, definitely. But charlatanism is like my least favorite thing in the world. So it's always like illuminating to see that like all these people don't have magic secrets behind the curtains. And it comes down to like the fundamentals of profitability, growth, and something that we always have believed, which is like raising money to raise money to raise money is horrible. In that rat race game, typically, I will say like for things that are like crazy technology, like Aura or something, if they had to raise money because they're looking for the ability to scale product or develop a new, like actually do R&D and things like that, that makes more sense to me because it's like actually something that betters the product over time. But if you're raising money to figure out customer acquisition costs, to market more on paid traffic, to take out a loan, to whatever it looks like creating all this leverage, which eventually piles up, that to me is never going to be a sign of a sustainable business or that your product is a product that everybody wants. Like it's a mass marketable product that people want to see grow. So yeah, I know we keep hearing stories over and over again from like very legit business owners of companies that you thought were doing really good being going to fold probably in the next 3 to 6 months. Unless something crazy changes with the economy, Bitcoin goes to $500,000 and everybody starts swimming in cash again.
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of the products too are these companies that maybe aren't doing as well behind the scenes that we've seen. Like there are a lot of great products, a lot of great founders, a lot of great companies, but maybe it's something where the size of their market that they could acquire profitably was like not enough to feed their vision for the company initially. And so a lot of this taking money was to expand out into a market that, potentially their current product suite wasn't ready for, or even just their company in general was not positioned to really capture. And so the alternative was to capture that market unprofitably, funding highly unprofitable customer acquisition. And so we've seen that over and over. And now it's like a lot of people are facing the music with that game of acquiring customers unprofitably, or just like, too low of a profit, risking too much with their customer acquisition. And I talked about this a little yesterday too in a post I did, talking about the main leverage points in direct to consumer. And it was kind of like, to your point with Oura Ring, we see less of this, like, there's less technology innovation. So I talked about kind of like the main leverage people are familiar with from, like, we always talk about Naval's Tweetstorm on How to Get Rich, where he talks about like media, capital, code, and labor. And the big ones I was talking about are like in, D2C marketing for consumer packaged goods companies. Usually your tech is really like your leverage and code is really just limited to the tech stack you're using. Media is, for the most part, paid and organic media. Capital is what you're usually fueling to like fuel team growth, and a lot of times for that paid media. But then your labor, really the only way you can make that more efficient is to have good internal operational and communications processes. And for a lot of companies, what I mentioned in that post, Austin, was that like it seems like for most D2C companies we work with, the biggest points of leverage are to improve the like internal operational and communications efficiencies, and then to go after some of those organic followings that you can either like rent, lease, or partner with in terms of like an influencer. And a lot of these companies going under have not gone hard on that. Like they have team members they don't need, and they haven't really made an effort to like find influencers who'll partner with them. And like now, I feel like that's a great way, instead of having to unload your company or go bankrupt, like just find an influencer who will partner with you, take equity in your company, and like help you get back to profitably acquiring customers. That is like the saving grace for some of these companies right now. It's like start hustling to, instead of finding your next round of investment, which isn't coming, find somebody that has an organic following, and it's going to like the marginal cost of them promoting your product is like negligible for them. There's like no marginal cost. They can do it. And if you make a good offer for equity in your company or some sort of upside on some sort of product sales, it's a good offer, and it's a lot higher probability offer than getting another round of funding right now.
Yeah, similarly, I feel like the businesses we see failing are businesses that were arbitraging the growth of a marketplace or like a specific space. So like I have a good feeling that beverage companies are going to get destroyed because there's like 1,000 of them now. And it's like,
what marketplace are they leveraging? What do you think?
So like they arbitrage, like the consumer is becoming more aware of the flavored sparkling beverage industry. Let's just say, for me, you come over to the house, I always have things stocked.
Yep.
I know which ones I like now. I don't need any new ones.
Yeah.
I'm like pretty much set on that.
Yeah. Okay.
And I see that happening over and over again. And I see the rate of growth of new ones not stopping. But it's like, why do I switch? Yours is more expensive, has less brand recognition. I don't trust ingredients as much. You did it 2 years ago, probably would have tried it, right? Because I tried 40 of them. Skincare, supplements, like if it's just the same thing over and over again, the arbitrage is going away. That ability to be like, well, people are trying new things. So like with all the Liver King exposed stuff too, we'll see if like people stop buying as much organ meat based supplements.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think that's just where the economy is at, like the less disposable income, or do you think it's some sort of like other cycle that's going on with direct to consumer products people are trying?
I feel like it's another cycle. I feel like there's all these waves. Like think about like Fat Snacks, Magic Spoon. You could even say 3 Wishes. There's like tons of these like paleo keto style regular foods that we would eat before. So cookies, cereals, crackers. Yeah, you've like Human they make crackers and they make chocolates and stuff. HU. Those all arose because paleo blew up, right? Paleo and keto. Yeah. But like paleo and keto are kind of like yesterday's news. And so people aren't actively looking for all these new snacks for paleo and keto. That's just my belief and assumption right now.
Interesting. Yeah.
I'd love to get that backed up with some data. And I know like some of the fastest growing proteins in retail, and they're not marketing that as the style anymore, unless it's collagen. Collagen still is the best out of anything. So it's almost like finding these trends, which then you can arbitrage the creation of a new product. Yeah, and like for me, and we've talked about this on previous podcasts, hit the seed oil realm. Do it right now.
Yeah.
Just go anti-seed oil everything.
Yeah.
I feel like you could grow and really take a business from 0 to 50, 100 million on like, we make non-seed oil, everything you love originally.
Yeah.
We make all that.
Yeah.
And then in 10 years, it probably won't work anymore because everybody knows seed oils are bad for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah. Yeah. So there's like the macro trend with the economy and disposable income, but there's all these like other undercurrents going on that different types of product verticals can ride this wave of momentum, these caused by these like larger cultural currents, like keto. That's such a good example, man, because that was such a wave to ride. I mean, we know some of the founders of these keto companies that just like made out with a couple of good products. Interesting.
Insane. I mean, even so, like, interesting thing. I was talking to someone a week ago, and they were talking about how Coca-Cola, like, even during recessions or anything, they budget about, or they know that a general consumer will spend between 3.8 to 4.5% of their monthly income on Coca-Cola.
Damn.
Not anymore. Coke just had to lay off tons of people. I think there's more choices, and people are realizing they can go elsewhere. And like, Coke hit market saturation. Maybe now it's time for mean reversion. That'd be great. I would love that. Just see Coke get decimated.
That's a long cycle, though. They've been doing it for a while, so
totally, it'll probably take
a lot of success. Years. Man, 3 or 4%. That's like a tax. That's like a tax on your income. That's a lot.
How insane is that? Humans are spending 3 to 4% of their income on Coca-Cola. What is that? Why? Stop. You're feeding the monster.
Yeah.
Stop giving Charlie Munger more money.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Consumer trends are so interesting to see what disposable income actually goes towards. All right. Well, that's all the topics we have for today. Is there anything else you want to cover? Any other current events? Yeah.
No, not really.
What else?
Advantage Plus is doing some cool things on Facebook or Meta.
Oh, wait. We do have the one though. What is the tool you're using right now for the outsourced photo shoots? Because this is like mind-blowingly good.
Oh, this is super cool, but I don't want to give away the secret, but I'll give it.
We can cut this out too.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I would think like the number one problem for like most agencies that don't want to or don't have the capabilities to take in-house product photography, creative design, graphic design, video editing, all that stuff is like, how do you get the raw photos? What do you do when a client is just like not a creative client? And we found this company called Suna.co, maybe late to the bandwagon, but you can do virtual or in-person photo shoots. You can bring props. You can do all of it. And it's super reasonable from the standpoint of a per photo or per video basis. You bring your own hand model, your own lifestyle model, that you don't get charged for that. Bring your own props, you don't get charged for that. Super easy, set it up. Takes about 3 to 5 days your product get there, 1 or 2 weeks for you to schedule the shoot. Bam, you got high quality, high fidelity product photography and videos that fit your brand. Highly recommend it. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Love it. Boom.
Yeah.
Any other topics?
Not yet. We'll see in the future.
Amazing.